Everyone wants the strongest tactic and formation to use on FIFA 23. Watching professional FIFA players, content creators, and trying new things out yourself to figure out what works. Well, FIFA pros across the world have all been using this one particular formation, and we're going to tell you the exact reason why, how to get the best out of it, and more importantly, those custom tactics. And yes, for you at home wondering, these tactics do also work on old gen FIFA. I do want to do a little quiz though. Can you tell me what formation we're talking about before I reveal the formation? Let me know down below in the comments. So we're going to have two strikers, and what I've preached to you over the recent weeks is that two strikers makes creating chances so much easier. Looking for 1-2s, looking for over the top through balls, the ability to cross and lay the ball off inside the 18-yard box to the partner up front makes it a lot easier to score and create chances. You will have two holding DMs, which are absolutely crucial to this formation. The holding DMs just sit a little bit deeper than they would do in a normal CM position, meaning the gap between the centre backs and the midfield is minimal. That makes it a lot easier for you to defend due to less room for the opponent to play in and around. The DMs are responsible for distributing the ball out as well, which is a key relevant stat to this formation, so make sure you take that into account. Your fullbacks, in all honesty, most people don't tend to use them as much as they should. We want to make sure that we are bringing them forward manually on that overlap to get them involved and try and create that overload. You can also look for the outside of the boot switch to your other fullback when you are looking to recycle that play. Now, the big giveaway. We do have two attacking mids, your right attacking mid and left attacking mid, which offer the width on the inside of the fullbacks, which is where you're going to get the most amount of success with this formation. These two players are one of the most vital parts to this tactic. But well done to you if you managed to guess it right. We are talking about the 4-2-2 today. There is a reason why professional FIFA players like Lyrics and Michael Fisher, for example, are using this formation. But before we get into the tactics, let's talk about the key details on what makes it work. Your cams ideally must have these attributes. 87 plus pace would be absolutely perfect. The ability to pass and cross the ball, particularly for outside of the boot passes or shots. Skill moves, we'd ideally like these players to have 4-star minimum. This way we can utilize the heel to roll and step overs effectively. Your strikers should consist of one big man up front, someone that can head the ball, who's physical, who's got a bit of pace, who's got a bit of tech about them, but very well rounded. Someone like Haaland, Shromidov, however you say his name, and people like that are absolutely great at it. And then you need a quick striker alongside that, someone like Mbappe, Muriel, with 4-star skills minimum, a little bit more nimble on the ball to really partner up with that big striker very well. Now, for your defensive mids, I'm going to be honest, the typical defensive mid who defends more on FIFA 23 isn't as popular because you can't turn and you can't dribble as it is anyway. So someone like Fofana, Kante, Kessie, a lot of players don't tend to go with. However, if you don't back your ability to manually defend and you prefer having a player like that, that's fine. You can do that. Just make sure they have high defensive work rates and don't dribble with them. Just move the ball around quick because that isn't their strength. But they certainly will help in that defensive area. However, if you are confident enough in your defending and you want to run players like Llorente, Valverde, Kevin De Bruyne, they are absolutely perfect in this formation, because they hold well, they can get forward, and most importantly, they can look for those passes that are so crucial to this tactic. And then it goes without saying, your defenders, we obviously want to try and have some pace, some decent defensive stats. Players like Kyle Walker, Varane, Rudiger, Koulibaly, Koundé, whoever it may be, those sort of meta top-tier defenders will be really, really useful. So let's talk about the formation and what is the biggest strength. In all honesty, the ability to counter and look for the over-the-top through balls is one of the biggest strengths of this formation. Players are finding it really difficult on FIFA 23 to penetrate that defensive line. People put more men behind the ball, and because you can't dribble very well, it makes it difficult. Now, if we look for over-the-top through balls down the line or over the top, that's where the 4-2-2 really excels. So if you don't manage to hit on the counter and you do have to build up normally, the 4-2-2 still offers tiki-taka football. You can use the triangle between your striker, your attacking mid, and your DM exceptionally well to still look for the balls in behind, to come short, and then look for a finesse from range or an outside of the boot from range. It really does have a lot of variety. Reminder, as always, if you want any help with your tactics or direct one-to-one coaching with myself and the team, head over to our Patreon. There is a link in the description for that. Come over and get involved. So we've learned about how the formation plays and what type of players that you need and the strengths and weaknesses of the 4-2-2. Now it's time for the tactics. So for our defensive style, we're going to go balanced. I'm a big advocate of this on FIFA 23. It helps you maintain your position and your, just everything's neutral with it. It's nothing too aggressive. However, I would recommend having a variant of this on press on possession loss. So if you're trailing by 1 goal in the 60th minute, you can just switch to that. So it's a little bit more aggressive, more ability to win the ball high up the pitch, and just gives you an extra alternative. It goes without saying that if you're looking for the over-the-top through balls, that means the opponent is as well, more than likely. So you really need to be smart on your player switch and actively thinking about that space in behind. So think about that. With 50 depth, you will get caught in behind. I don't really want to encourage you to make that lower because it just invites pressure from range. 45, 40 would probably be the lowest that I go. Moving on to our offensive and our chance creation now, we are looking for long ball and direct passing. Both of these allow for quick counters, looking into the channels or in behind the defensive line in the centre backs. If you don't get into the final third though, direct passing works exceptionally well to move the ball around and look for runners. The AI will move more in this than they would do in completely balanced. So I'm a big fan of this. One thing I will say is if you're really struggling to get the ball out, you can come off balanced on long ball on the build-up play and go to balanced instead. That may help you. Now we are looking at 48 width, 5 players in box, 2 corners and 2 free kicks. We go a little bit narrower on the width because we want our attacking mids to play on the inside of the fullback and the centre back. It makes it really difficult for them to track unless they run a really narrow width themselves. We are now going to take a look at our in-player instructions, and there are a few bits of key information here. For our fullbacks, we want them on stay back while attacking and overlap. Overlap is because we don't want them going on the inside of our attacking mid. We want them on the outside. Naturally get them involved if you want to. Pick your more defensive-minded midfielder and have them on stay back while attacking and cover centre. Your more attacking-minded centre midfielder, just have them on cover centre. These two will act as a pivot together, with one just being a little bit further up the pitch, making themselves available when you get into that attack. Now, when it comes to our attacking mids, we don't actually have any instructions on these. We don't touch them. Some people have them on stay forward. However, I think for you guys, if you have them on stay forward, it's harder to defend, and it's also harder to play the ball out to them because they're further up the pitch. What I will say though is experiment with it. Try it and see if you prefer either one. For both of our strikers, we are going stay central, stay forward, and get in behind, always available for that counter attack. If you're trying to see out the game though, you can do down and up on the D-pad for striker drop back. When the ball is on their side of the pitch, they'll drop in ever so slightly, allowing you to press with that striker in the middle of the park. So your tactics are now sorted and you understand how it plays. Now it's time to know how to reach the next rank in FUT Champions. Click this video here to go over it and find out how to do that exactly.